Hello, Ducks fans. Welcome to another episode of the Quack Report. My name's Carter. I'm joined by Nate. We're going to talk some Ducks hockey. We're going to talk some Batman. We're going to talk. What else do we have on here? I don't know. Other stuff. We got lots of stuff to talk about.
We got some stuff.
Yeah, just stuff. Yeah, I guess Ducks hockey and Batman really sums up pretty much everything on here. But
Yeah, pretty much. When you had started that, you started just a little bit later than I'm normally used to, and I'm just like, what's going on? What? Just like that extra half second, I was just like, oh shit.
I like to
Don't
shake
do
it
me
up.
like
I don't
that,
know.
man. Don't do me like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I like to shake it up. I like to, not get into like a routine. I mean, I always pretty much say the same thing, but I like to change the timing of it. Just
Yeah.
to be different. 'Cause if I change the words, I'm gonna get all fucked up. If I change like how I say it, then it seems like new and exciting, and I don't sound like a robot.
Fair enough.
That's how it
Fair
feels,
enough.
anyways.
That's
Plus,
fair.
it makes you panic a little bit, so it's great.
Yeah, it does make me panic. I'm used to like, okay, this is how things work.
Well, how was when did I guess our last episode was we recorded it Monday, so that was 4 days ago.
Yeah.
We did a watch along in between there. But
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess how have you been since the watch along or since the episode, however you want to take that?
Yeah, been all right. We suddenly got thrown back into classes like very quickly. Within it was like 28 hours, I guess technically to to midnight for Wednesday kind of thing. So I was honestly at the point thinking that we weren't going to go back because the original like class end date is in like 2 weeks. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, there's no way that we're going to go back to class at this point. It'd be a stupid decision to send us back. But then I had to remember where we go to school and went, oh yeah, wait, no, that does make sense. Actually, they would do something stupid like that. But yeah, I mean, besides that, and just kind of that anxiety a little bit kind of bubbled. Besides that though, been all right. So we had a good time. Yeah, on that watch along on Wednesday, it was a good time. And thanks if you're listening to this and you were there, thanks for showing up. And if you weren't there, catch us on the next time that we do it. Not sure when that's going to be offhand, but yeah, we had a fun time there with a lot of the regulars, and some new people came in as well. And
Blackhawks fans were good as well.
Yeah, Blackhawks fans were good and everything like that too. So and yeah, it was a little bit of a maybe not balanced game as we would have hoped, but it was still enjoyable somehow at least. So
Yeah.
I think honestly the interaction with the comment section made it more enjoyable.
That's the best part about the watch along.
Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise we would have just been like, what the hell's going on? What is this? Like fucking Ducks.
Yeah.
So what about you?
Yeah, no, like you said, just back
nice
to school.
burp into the microphone. I'm sorry.
You did.
It's just gotta have it.
If anyone's listened to the podcast before, they know that we're not the most professional on here. So if it's your first time, then welcome.
Yeah.
Where we burp into the microphones. Yeah. Yeah, no, back to class. I guess if there is any new listeners, or if you maybe missed the episode where we talked about it, our professors went on strike back in beginning of February, so we didn't have class for like 6 weeks, and now we're back. So that's the short version of it. But
yeah, in which the strike was like at most a week, and then the rest was actually technically a lockout by the school. So
yeah, true. Yeah,
but there's a lot to it. Obviously, if you're not around here, I guess you're not really caring. But obviously, this is stuff that like's been happening to us for like the last month and a half. So we've been affected and that kind of thing. So, but
yeah, no finals though, which is pretty sick.
I mean,
no finals week. Yeah,
no finals week. They just get crammed into classes instead. So
yeah, so we're in school till May. It's just like like elementary school and middle school and high school. They're all in school till May.
But no pizza parties at the end or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No
pizza parties, no movie days or whatever.
Yeah, you just get
winding down.
you just get a piece of paper that says, "Hey, you did it," or you get an invoice for payable in 3 months from now to see you again in September.
Or you get the government like, "Hey, we know you just finished. You haven't really made a whole lot of money yet for school, but we want that back."
Yeah.
So The joys of post-secondary. So, but obviously very grateful that we're obviously like both able to go through that and that sort of thing. So I try not to sound ungrateful, but
yeah, it's just an interesting experience. That's
yeah.
Sure. So, but yeah, well, yeah, we can get into some Ducks hockey here if you want. We can talk about the Blackhawks game and then get into some Batman. We're going to talk the Batman 2022. We've talked about it briefly before, but now we're going to get into some spoilers and yeah. So if you haven't seen it, maybe get on that. Come back, revisit the second half of the episode. It should still be in theaters. It came out like beginning of March, right?
Yeah, and if you don't want to go to the theater, that sort of thing, it sounds like it's supposed to be released digitally middle to end of April. So not too much longer, actually. So yeah. So cool. I can't wait to have this like to watch at home and just kind of like watch it a few times and just pick out new things and whatnot that I didn't catch the first time watching it. So
yeah,
it was fun when you and I went though. We got to do the in Canada at least at the Cineplex. There's the D box, it's called, and so they're basically they're kind of 4D seats in a way that like they'll shake and move or that kind of with the scene. So there was like I guess kind of jumping ahead a little bit. There's like the car chase though. I guess it was shown in the trailers. The car chase, like we're moving along with that, like our seats moving and everything. Yeah, that was really cool. That was a cool experience actually. So I kept it turned like to like the minimum, just for the start of the movie because like was eating popcorn and that kind of stuff. I'm like, I don't need like something to jump or whatever. The thing shakes and my popcorn goes everywhere.
Yeah.
But once I was done my food, I as high as I could go because I'm like, I got these tickets for we got the tickets for free. So I'm just like, I want to like see this here. So, but yeah, it was a fun time. Did you crank yours all the way up or no?
I did. I had it on kind of the middle for like most of it, and then when I saw you turn yours up, I was like, oh, I should like play around with it. So I like went up. I think it was for the car chase part. Okay. Also when I went up, and then I like tested it on the minimum for like some parts, and like during like some gunfight scenes, I was like going up and down and things like that just to like see what the difference was. But yeah, I think I left it on the middle for most of it. So
nice.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
Oh, we'll what was I going to say? Oh, now I guess. Or
yeah, no, you sorry, you brought up about the 4D seats.
Yeah,
I don't know if they still do it because this was obviously years and years ago. Like I guess probably 15 years ago at this point. But when I went to Disneyland when I was younger and like Universal,
wait, sorry, can I stop you? Is it for Disneyland? Are you talking the Bugs Life one?
Yes, it was that one. Yeah. And then at Universal there was a Shrek like 4D one. So like they would have
right.
So like the seats would like move for like the bugs when like the bugs crawled on you and stuff like that. And then like in the Shrek one I remember it did like a close up of like Shrek and he sneezed and then it like sprayed you with water. So it was like I would have actually liked something more like that with like the D box,
Yeah.
Like I get that like it's not super practical and it's like
you'd have to have like the theme whole park thing specific for that. Yeah, I remember for the Bugs Life one though, it was like my second time going to Disneyland and like I still wanted to go back to that, but I'm not a fan of spiders or anything like that.
Yeah,
and so I was like, okay, like know when to cower like a little bitch and stuff like that. But I also remembered that part like at the end there, right, where it's like, okay, like let the little bugs go out first. I remembered it going under my feet though. So when it like, okay, let the little bugs go, I lifted my feet, but then they go under your ass and I'm like, oh no, I misremembered that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought it was my feet, but yeah, I got bamboozled twice. So
maybe they shake it up every time you go, it's like slightly different, but
yeah. That could be.
But yeah, it just reminded me of that when you said 4D. So I'm sure like there's got to be other people that know what we're talking about too, especially with this being an Anaheim podcast.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's probably people that listen to this that have like the season passes for Disneyland and stuff like that. So
yeah, exactly. So but yeah, we could get into some Ducks talk there. I just wanted to bring that up. So,
yeah.
That memory resurfaced just now. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So, yeah, Blackhawks were the better team, I guess. Like,
Win
if you
again.
saw us
Yeah.
on the watch along, like you kind of already know our thoughts. We already kind of talked about it, but so this might be more of a recap for the people that joined us on the watch along. But we've had some time to think about it, so it'll be we might have some new thoughts as well. So stick
Mhm.
around, but you might have to power through some repetition here. So, yeah, where do you want to start with this? Do you want to? I guess do you want to start with Sam Carrick?
Yeah, we can, sure. Because I guess that's mainly a positive.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam Carrick with both the goals for Anaheim. Both were nice goals to say the least,
Mhm.
at least for like yeah, because I think the one was just him crashing that out on a rebound, and the other one I
Mhm.
think was a shot. I'm trying to remember offhand. But yeah, like literally we're shut out if not for Sam Carrick. Like that's literally it. He
Yeah.
just decided to go off that night against Lankinen. But unfortunately all his good also led to a little bit of the bad. Oh, excuse me. When he was supposed to be, or he was covering I'm trying to
Yeah.
find the he was covering
Yeah. Who
Dylan
was it?
Strome there
Yeah,
when
that's what it was. Yeah.
when Chicago went ahead by one there late in the game. So yeah, literally this game was about Carrick is what I have written here. So
Yeah. He was like the
but
only really noticeable player.
yeah,
So,
and you know what? I'm gonna throw out one more guy here as well, just because
mhm.
I felt so bad bashing him for the last while, but I don't think it was without merit. Um, John Gibson though is looking like he's back,
Yeah, he
which
looks a lot more
sucks.
better. Yeah.
Which sucks because we're not like we are technically right. We're not mathematically eliminated, but it would have been nice to have this continue when we were still in the playoff race, and now we're
Yeah.
out on the outside looking in, kind of thing, and it's not looking great. Um, but yeah, I thought Gibson looked well. He made some really big saves and that sort of thing, and his goal save above expected was 0.24, so he's right where he should be in that kind of thing. So
Mhm.
yeah, John Gibson, he's had a good last few games or that. So I just wanted to just point that out because excuse me, man, I got the hiccups going, I guess. Yeah, he's he had dropped off for quite a while, and we were very critical of him and that sort of thing, and just kind of wondering
Mhm.
like what the hell is going on. But it seems like he has maybe gotten it figured out. Unfortunately, it feels just a little too late. So it's
Yeah.
good. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. And in this case, it's
Yeah.
a bit of both. So
Yeah. And just so no one takes this the wrong way, too, I don't think you're blaming John Gibson for us not making the playoffs.
no,
Obviously.
not
Yeah.
entirely. There's also the rest of the team in front of him. He
Yeah.
was unfortunately a major factor to that, but
Yeah. Yeah. But like
yeah.
I don't know, your team should be able to kind of make up for that lack of
Yeah,
play.
to help
I mean,
out a
because
bit. So I
obviously
mean,
it's a team sport, right? So,
yeah, I mean, you could even lay a little bit of the blame, and I'm sure one of our listeners, Lauren, will really appreciate this one. You could blame some of it on Dallas Eakins for sure, because
you can blame a
if you're
lot of it on Dallas Eakins.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you're seeing this dude struggle super hard, right, and you just keep throwing him in there hoping for a different result, right, like,
Mhm.
and it's not happening, but you just continue to do it, like the idea of to do the same thing multiple times and expect a different outcome is the definition of insanity. The only time that doesn't apply is if you're a musician. But for
Yeah.
everything else, that is very valid. And that's Dallas Eakins, unfortunately, was just trying the same thing over and over again with like, yes, I understand. John Gibson is a wonderful goaltender. I still believe is an underrated goaltender, but you can tell he's not doing well. He's in a not a great spot or something like that. And you just continually throw him to the wolves basically. And just it, I could see he was trying to, get him a good game to bring his confidence back up, but
Yeah.
it was just
And that's a good strategy. Yeah.
but it was constantly just destroying that confidence even more so because
Yeah.
he had
Exactly.
no help in front and he was not great. So
Yeah.
it would have been nice to see a little bit more Stellars, maybe even some Dostal, which I'm hoping we get here kind of let's be honest, like just the team is going to be mathematically eliminated here, I think, in the next couple of weeks. So I think once that happens, I'd like to see a little bit more of Dostal or that sort of thing, because there have been a lot of talks, especially after the trade deadline and how Anaheim's season has gone with, and especially with Pat Verbeek coming in too. Man, it sucks to think about, but John Gibson may be on the market. So, and in part because he is kind of done. So
it doesn't mean he's going to be traded, obviously, but like his name is getting
his name is out. Yeah, his name is out there, and Elliot Friedman even talked about the possibility of something happening with Gibson this summer in regards to being traded. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But if that is the case, right, obviously you have to be looking towards what you're looking at for goal next year at least, right, which very well could be Stolarz and Dostal. So
yeah, exactly. Just to circle back to Dallas Eakins as well.
Do we have to?
we don't have to. It's not really about Dallas Eakins. It's more so about coaching.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. I'm just pulling your chain.
Yeah. But like, yes, you can blame Gibson for us not making the playoffs. Yeah, you could like, I don't know, blame our defenseman, blame Comtois because he didn't have a very good season, blame Raquel, blame Fowler. I don't know. Like, you could probably come up with a reason for literally anybody on the team. But like, I think the coach, like, if players are struggling, it's the coach's job to get them to not struggle or put a better player in their place. Like, for instance, playing Stolarz over Gibson. Like, it's a good strategy to, okay, he had a rough couple games, let's throw him back in and let him figure it out. But like you said, eventually you got to realize this isn't working. So you got to give Stolarz more than just like, oh, here's one start. So, but you look at like what a coach can do to like turn a team around. Like if we take the Canadiens for this season, before Martin St. Louis came in, they were 8-30-7 on, so in 45 games,
I forgot
8 wins on the season. Yeah,
I didn't forget, but like just putting it into that context. It's like, holy shit.
I counted the amount of wins they've had since hiring St. Louis, and they have 8 wins in the last, I don't know how many games, I didn't count the games, but in a month and a half, they have the same amount of wins that they did in the first bit of the season.
So I hadn't looked at the league standings in a while. As of 4:30 Mountain Time, so 3:30 Pacific, I guess. No games have been played yet tonight, at least, but Montreal is still 32nd in the league, tied for points with Arizona. But Arizona has a 349 win percentage and Montreal with a 344. So technically Montreal is still in the 32nd spot. So
that's wild. I mean, just how bad they are like blows my mind this year. But like, I mean, I don't know what their win percentage since hiring St. Louis is, but it's like, it's got to be like middle of the road, I would assume.
Yeah, I do think so.
It's been like pretty decent.
Yeah. Their last 10, they're 4-3-3.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's 11 points in there. So
like that's one example. You look at St. Louis in 2019, where they fired their coach in January and then went on to win the Stanley Cup from literally 32nd in the NHL to Stanley Cup winners. So
and even the next year with Dallas was Mike Yeo, if I'm not mistaken, and then what's his name? But it's the coach of the Dallas Stars now, right? And even with that, you also had the COVID shutdown for a little bit, and then you got to go back in and get ramped up again for just suddenly you're in the playoffs, right?
Yeah,
and you got to go on a tear there, and they absolutely did, going to the Stanley Cup final against the Tampa Bay Lightning. So
yeah. So like
there is that new coach bump and that sort of thing for sure.
It's not even a new coach bump. It's just like how the team plays, like, or like what the coach does for the team. Like St. Louis hasn't been like bad since 2019. They haven't been necessarily fantastic, but like
they definitely
see how much better they are. Yeah, but like they got a little bit of a bump in that 2019 season from the coach, but like the roster's largely the same from before that coach to where it is now. Like so just having a coach that is able to, work with the team is like, and understand the team and like help the team to be its best is like huge. And Eakins just isn't that. Like
It's not that
we got to
anymore.
have someone else that like understands how Gibson works and like, okay, he's not playing well. We got to put somebody else in, somebody that can, get our bottom six going a little bit more, somebody that can work with Trevor Zegras to turn him into the 100-point scorer that we know he is. And I mean, he's young, so I'm not like saying I expected 100 points from him this season, but like that's the kind of coach we need. We don't need the coach to be like, okay, this is how the game works. We do face-offs here, and then we try and put this disc of rubber in. Like they already know. Like we don't need a development coach, is what I'm trying to say.
No.
Like we need something more. So
yeah, exactly.
I forget how we even got on this train from the Blackhawks game, but
it was talking about Dallas Eakins. Oh no, it was John Gibson to Dallas Eakins and not taking out John Gibson for a while, and then that's
yeah.
I think it was on the live stream you had brought up Rick Tocchet as somebody that you would like to see as a coach potentially, right?
Yeah, I named just kind of off the top of my head Rick Tocchet and Claude Julien, just because I don't know, they've been around for a long time. They have experience working with like not development NHL teams, if that makes sense. So I don't know, it's worth a shot. Like there's tons of options out there, and like come the end of the season when coaches get fired, there's going to be even more. And there's obviously like the new younger crop of coaches that I have no idea about that.
Exactly.
That could end up being good hires as well. So
Rick Tocchet's a good idea. I like that. So I definitely have to look into a little bit more of like who might be available or who could be coming up coaching wise or that, to give you an idea of what I think or like who I think could step into that role. But I think especially with this trade deadline, and even before that, we see that this is going to be, which I absolutely love, this is going to be Pat Verbeek's team, right? And so luckily, I don't think he doesn't have to fire anybody. He just has to let Eakins run out the rest of his contract this year, and then he can take the summer to look for somebody. So which I'm sure he's already even looking into. Yeah.
Oh, probably, yeah. But like there's no point in firing him now. Like it's just gonna make the guy feel bad, and then you gotta worry.
Just let him finish it out. Coach. So it's
exactly.
as much as it's gonna suck as Ducks fans, just know that there's a brighter future at least. So
back to this Blackhawks game that we got off of. Way off track.
No.
We said like the Blackhawks were the better team, so like obviously they were going to win. Like it's not really like even a complaint about the Ducks play. It's like they played how I expected them to be given their roster. Like not even just like losing guys at the trade deadline, but all the injuries we're still dealing with, and new ones like Troy Terry, Ryan Getzlaf, Max Jones, who's been out for a while, and then obviously losing Raquel, Lindholm, Manson, Silverberg.
Yeah,
like obviously our team's not
all of your big name guys besides some of the young guys that are the bigger names like Zegras or Lundestrom. Everybody's gone right now. So
yeah, exactly. Like I just wanted to take a look at Daily Faceoff now. There's two names in our top six that I think are deserving of being in our top six based off of their play this season, and that's Trevor Zegras and Adam Henrique. The other guys in our top six. Well, I'm just gonna read. No, sorry. Let me share the screen so I don't have to entirely read out our roster. But like it's a rough roster. So this is our forward group. You know it's bad when Derek Grant is on the first line.
Yeah,
with Zegras and Letary. Comtois.
I mean, after the season, he's fired a few goals lately, but yeah.
Grant, Henrique, and Mayhew. I'm sorry, like I didn't even know who Mayhew was until like last week, and now he's in our top six.
He got waiver claimed by us, like not even traded, waiver claimed.
Yeah. Steele, Lundestrom, Carrick. That's kind of our standard third line. That's about the only consistent thing we still have. And then aston-reese, Danny O'Regan, and Dominic Simone as our fourth line, which are fourth liners, but like that's not the best fourth. Like you don't want all of those guys to be on your fourth line.
And those are all relatively new guys. Like O'Regan's been in the system for a little bit now, but Simone and aston-reese were just acquired by or from Pittsburgh for Raquel. So
like this was their first game.
So. I think as well the Chicago game could have been a little bit better if Trevor Zegras had some some players to play with that could finish.
Oh, absolutely. Because he had a phenomenal game.
He was sending passes like that were great or that, but just it all got screwed over because nobody could put the puck in the net after he just set them up perfectly. So
yeah. Zegras had a phenomenal game, but you're right. It was just no finish. So we lost all our finishers. They're either injured or we traded them. So yeah. And then this is our defense. Like Fowler, Drysdale, sure, that's fine. Benoit, Suster, not a good second pairing. Mahura, Shattenkirk, third pairing, okay, fine. But like
I'm more confident in that than I am that second pairing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so we'll say Mahura, Shattenkirk second pairing. Now we get a little bit uncomfortable. Benoit, Schuster third pairing, like that's also kind of uncomfortable. So it's not looking great on defense, which again makes sense. We lost Manson and Lindholm in trades, and do we have any injured?
Do we have any injured?
Not defensemen, I guess, but like this explains the forward situation here.
So. Yeah, you're losing Max Jones, you're losing Jakob Silverberg, you're losing Getzlaf. Vakanainen, who we just acquired, it sounded like he's gonna be like soon-ish, is what it sounded like. And then Troy Terry out day to day. Not sure. He is back. I don't remember what that was, but
they didn't say. He is back healthy now.
Okay, good.
But obviously wasn't in that game against Chicago. So, and he's been our finisher this season. So, like you look at the roster and it makes sense. So, like I really have no complaints. Like I think the team played as best as it could, and unfortunately, our best just is awful.
I'm missing something here 100%. Where the hell is Sonny Milano?
Good question. He was injured, wasn't he?
He's not on the injury list, though.
Huh.
I'm missing something there, I think.
Because
I'm 100% missing something there.
I don't think he played. Yeah, he didn't play against Chicago. So I guess maybe we just scratched him because we wanted to give other guys a chance. I don't know. But yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm just looking at tweets here from Elliot T-Ford of the OC Register. Okay, so Getzlaf will be a game time decision against the Sharks. The staff is weighing starting Lucas Dostal. Good. Please. Zegras and Henrique didn't practice today, being Friday, but could play on Saturday. Troy Terry did skate. It's expected he'll play. Yeah, Milano's still out. Oh yeah, he got nicked the other game. I remember that now.
Okay.
Vakanainen did practice. Yeah. So, I was kind of looking at that roster for a second, and I'm like, wait a second, where's Milano's name here?
Yeah.
So, you know what I want to see right now? Just especially if it's mathematical elimination, right? Like that's where I want to see things tried. I want to see Zegras, Milano, Terry. I want to see that line. I want to see that.
But like, if you're Dallas Eakins though, like, and you know that your job is out, like, what? Like, do you not just want to like do what you've kind of already done for the rest of the season? Like he's got to know he's not coming back.
Just so, like, not make sense with decisions whatsoever.
Yeah, but like I don't know if, like, to me that's something a new coach would try. Right? Is like, okay, let's just like see what lines work. Every game is different. Every period is different.
I want Pat Verbeek to tell Eakins, I want to see this.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, but I don't think Eakins is just gonna do that, you know, like he's just gonna send the guys out. You're kind of just going through the motions at this point, which sucks, but like that's
it does suck, how it is. Like whether, like, even if he wasn't, you know, done this year or that, right, he was just kind of it was more waiting for the summer to be fired or something like that. Like now, like you can try things, right? Because that, like, again, like, there's a few people who share part of the blame, but unfortunately, Dallas Eakins is a major part of it, right? If you're steering the ship, you're going to take a brunt of the blame. And so you kind of, like, Eakins kind of put the team in this situation. So and then now you're just gonna really just go with what you've been doing that sunk the ship, and just make it worse. Unless, and I doubt this is what's going on, but you never know. Verbeek is saying, or just like letting it happen, kind of thing, because then he has a better chance at a decent pick.
Probably, yeah.
So, because we have the 2 this year. We have our own still, as well as Boston's now because of the Lindholm trade. So that could be it. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean,
there's a few things I'd like to see for pairings and that kind of stuff. Like I want to, I want to see what the future looks like here. So
as a GM though, like you're right. His job is to build the best possible team. So the best chance at that is getting the best pick. The owners obviously want as much money as possible, but so obviously you still want to win games because you still want to sell tickets and put butts in seats kind of thing. But honestly, I don't even think winning is what drives the ticket sales. What for the Ducks, what drives the ticket sales is seeing Trevor Zegras. Like I want to go to a Ducks game right now, not because I want to see them win, because I want to see what Trevor Zegras is going to do.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the reason I would go to a Ducks game. So
it's what I was talking about. I think it was last episode of just Trevor Zegras makes Ducks hockey must-watch hockey.
Yeah,
so
exactly. So honestly, if they lose every game for the rest of the season, I don't care because I want to see Trevor Zegras and Drysdale, Terry, Comtois, those guys. But
I want to see the potential. I personally want to see the potential in this team.
Yeah.
If I wanted to watch a dumpster fire, I would just go light one in my backyard and do it for free. And it would be a hell of a lot faster. Well, it would be free because
you'd probably be fined, but
yeah, whatever. It would still be cheaper than paying for. I mean, I guess I don't pay being in Canada, but you get what I mean at least.
Yeah, I do. So I think all Verbeek is saying is I want to see what Dostal has, give him some starts.
Yeah,
that's probably all he cares about right now. So
and I feel like a team like San Jose is the team to try it, right? That's not a knock on Dostal or that sort of thing, but San Jose, we're in a rough spot. San Jose is an even rougher spot because they're not rebuilding, but they're just playing with mediocrity pretty much. But this is the team that you can try it, and then if Dostal does well, play him another game, right? Let's see what can happen. So
because you kind of build him into it, right? You're not going to throw him in. It's we got Tampa Bay on Saturday. All right, Dostal, you're up, buddy. Let's see what you can do. You build him up to that, right?
Honestly, if because talks are unfortunately heating up with Gibson, maybe you do that actually.
Oh, eventually, but not for his first game. No, not for his first game. But eventually, yeah.
But I mean, he's already played his first game. He has some games under his belt, right? So now you got to give him the idea of, okay, what's it like to be relatively consistent in the NHL? I want to, sure, throw him against the Tampa Bay team that's about to just destroy in the playoffs again, and honestly, could three-peat this year. Let's be real.
Exactly.
So
I know we do play Tampa Bay. Oh yeah, we play. We play Carolina, Florida, and Tampa Bay all in the span of a week. So I look out for those episodes because they're going to be rough. But I want to see Dostal play at least 2 of those games. I don't care who it is, but I want to see him play at least 2 of those. If it's Carolina, Tampa with Gibson in the middle, or Florida, Tampa, or Carolina, Florida, I don't care, but I want to see him get 2 of those. But minimum 1, but 2 would be nice.
Yeah, but you know what though? Because it makes sense, it's not going to happen. that's the unfortunate reality with this team under Dallas Eakins currently.
I mean, so the only way I could see it not happening is he gets lit up for 7-8 goals against San Jose. We give him another start against Arizona because we play them on the second half of a back-to-back next week, and he gets lit up for 5 goals against Arizona. We try him against Philly because we play them the week after. He gets lit up for 4 or 5 goals. Then you obviously don't start him against Carolina, Florida, and Tampa. If you can't play against Philly, Arizona, and San Jose, you're not playing against any of the other ones. But if he has reliable, consistent games over the next few weeks, then that's when you throw him in against Carolina, Florida, and Tampa. I think we play Colorado at some point too.
Probably. I know we went through it, and I was just the season's fucking done. But
actually, no,
and that wasn't even trying. That was
Colorado, but
okay. That was and that wasn't even trying to be the pessimist or anything like that. You just look and you just go, those are all teams that are locked right now for the playoffs.
Yeah, Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah, the only team I would see would be Columbus, San Jose, Philly, Arizona. That's it. Everybody else is a
Yeah.
lock for the playoffs, I think. Except for maybe Dallas. But Dallas has, last I saw, was 4 games in hand on the Golden Knights. I'm just double checking where that standing is right now. Yeah,
Mhm.
so Dallas has played 63 games, has 75 points. Vegas has played 67 and has 74 points. The math
Yeah.
isn't looking good for Vegas either.
No. Yeah, Dallas is hungry. So
Yeah,
even though they're not the best team in the league, they're playing like they want to be the
they're
best
playing
team
like
in the
it.
league,
Yeah.
and that's what's winning them the games. So and the Ducks tend to not play that way. So I'm
Yeah.
not looking forward to those 2 games against Dallas.
No.
But we'll save that for a future episode
For then.
since that's a little bit of a ways away. Okay, do you even want to talk about these other points we had for the Blackhawks game, or are you done?
Patrick Kane, still a decent player. 10 points in
He's
3
all right.
games against us. So, yeah, we
Not
can leave it there.
Yeah, not bad. Okay, yeah, that's I'm okay with leaving the rest of the stuff. So, okay, let's take a quick break now. We've got a little bit of news involving the Dadonov situation to go over, and then we'll do some Batman on the other side of that. But first, we'll hear from our friends over at DraftKings.
The NHL season has been packed with dirty dangles, hat tricks, and big wins. As the action rolls on, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, has your shot to win big too. New customers can bet just $1 on any team and get $150 in free bets if they win. That's right, a bump in the win column for your team means free bets for you. If Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you still have a shot to light the lamp. Everyone can play for huge cash prizes with DraftKings daily fantasy hockey contests. DraftKings is giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. So what are you waiting for? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, use the promo code THPN, bet just $1 on any NHL team, and get $150 in free bets if that team wins. Again, that's promo code THPN, as in the Hockey Podcast Network, at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL.
Must be 21 years of age or older. Restrictions apply. See content description or DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details.
Okay. First of all, Ducks called up Lucas Dostal, Brendan Gooley, and Danny O'Regan before that Blackhawks game. So I don't remember seeing O'Regan play. Do you know if he actually played against the Blackhawks?
If he did, he was not noticeable. I don't believe he did. No, he did not play.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think so. So I'm assuming he's going to play against San Jose on Saturday there, just because Daily Faceoff had him on a line with Simone and Aston-Reese, but not 100% sure. So I wanted to know where this guy came from, because I literally didn't hear about him until about
you were talking about the
hours
rabbit
ago.
hole.
Yeah, so I did
we got?
figure out where he came from, kind of, sort of. First of all, O'Regan was a 2012 round 5 pick by the San Jose Sharks. He played there for a couple of years. And then he got traded to Buffalo, and that was part of the Evander Kane deal that sent him to San Jose. So it was O'Regan.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah. Evander Kane went to San Jose. Buffalo got Danny O'Regan. They got a 2019 first round pick, which ended up being Braden Tracy. The Ducks Braden Tracy, which I'll get to in a minute, and then a 4th round pick that doesn't matter because it's not Braden Tracy. The Braden Tracy pick came to us. Oh God, where did that tab go? Oh God, it's gone. Oh no, it's right here. The Braden Tracy pick came to us in along with Brendan Gooley from Buffalo, and we gave them Brandon Montour.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's how we acquired that pick from San Jose, and then we got Braden Tracy with it. So
Okay. Oh yeah, that's a little bit of a rabbit hole there.
yeah, just a little baby one, beginnings
Little
of
bit.
one, but it all came from the Evander Kane pick. Oh, and then what's his face? Danny O'Regan. Yeah, San Jose, then to Buffalo, and then he signed as a free agent in. God, where did this go? There it is. Sorry, I have way too many tabs open.
Oh, good.
Yeah, traded to Buffalo, signed in New York, signed as a free agent for 1 year, signed in Vegas as a free agent for 1 year, and then signed with us as a free agent for 2 years. So this year, and then we have him still next year.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's where this kid came from. Not a ton of points here. In the AHL this season, 27 points in 40 games. Actually, apparently we have already played O'Regan for 5 games and he got an assist. I have no idea when that was.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But yeah, I don't know. Depth guy. We'll see what he can do. Like I said, he's bounced around a lot, 28 years old, but yeah, I don't know. Might have some chemistry with Simone and aston-reese. I think that's probably what they're trying to do. It's like, hey, you 4 or you 3 are just like random guys we have. Let's see what you can do for us. So,
sorry, I'm just pulling up. I'm trying to see if I can figure out what games those were for O'Regan.
I found it here. He played against Philly at the beginning of January, and then we played him 4 games here in March.
Nashville, the Islanders, the Rangers, and the Preds again.
Yeah. So yeah, we took him on that little road trip we had a couple weeks back. Yeah, like at most he played 10 minutes in those 4 games there. So.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, he's played 30 games in his career.
Yeah. So not a
man, only getting to play 2 games with the 17-18 Buffalo Sabres. Yikes. And then 1 game with the 18-19 Buffalo Sabres. Yikes.
But yeah, that's just those Ducks moves, and then that's it. Just who Danny O'Regan is, in case you're unsure.
There we go.
Okay. Evgeny Dadonov. We talked about it on the live stream. You've probably heard about it already. I mean, we did a trade breakdown for it, and
and we were like, "Oh, that's sweet." That it sounded like he. Yeah, I mean, I think we even said that he had a no trade, and he wanted to, and like that was sweet that he wanted to come here. And then literally a half an hour after we finished that recording, if the Dadonov trade, there was a no trade clause that was not looked at or anything like that, and Anaheim was on the list, and I'm like, "Fuck."
Yeah, which is just wild. And I mean, there's tons of.
It's our luck. It's our luck.
Yeah, there's tons of resources out there that kind of explain the situation, so we don't need to get into it too much. It's kind of old news at this point, but
I have some of the background.
But you said you had some notes still, if you want to go through that.
Yeah. So just more like how this even kind of got to that point. So these are just kind of like the Spark Notes versions of what Elliot Friedman was talking about on 32 Thoughts Wednesday's episode, I believe it was. So it wasn't voided at the time, but that was when it was looking like it was going to be voided. So he explained that on October 15th, 2020, Dadonov had signed a 3-year contract. So that's for the 2021 season, the 21-22, and 22-23. So he's on the 2nd year of that right now. Mm-hmm. And sorry, sidetrack for a moment. You were talking about how you would like just like throw something to me and then mute yourself for a second. And I noticed it this time.
I figured you would. Yeah.
Yeah. So he signed for the 3 years. He's in the 2nd year of this deal. Now in there was also a no trade clause. And so he was obviously, that means he's not allowed to be traded to another NHL team without first allowing, Dadonov to provide the club with a written list of 10 no trade teams. Or up to 10. Mm-hmm. So the dates for that he had to submit these lists for each season, January 15th of 2021, which it's an odd date, but remember that's the start of like the shortened season, that we had, July 1st of 2021. So leading into this year, and then he'll have another chance on July 1st of 2022, so this coming summer. So he did submit a list on June 30th, 2021, so a day before he was supposed to the Ottawa Senators, and that was confirmed by the Senators to have been received, is what Elliot Friedman had been told by a few sources. So, and then on July 28th, 2021, just less than a month later, Dadonov was traded from Ottawa to the Vegas Golden Knights for Nick Holden and the 2022 third round pick that Vegas had from Vancouver. And I think that was part of the Nate Schmidt deal, if I'm not mistaken. Vegas was not on the no trade list, so he was able to go there, no problems. And so it seems like kind of the thing that had happened here. So it used to be that if a player had a no trade clause and was, asked to waive it or anything like that, right, or had to submit when he went to a new team, then the clause was null at that point. He didn't have it anymore. But after the new CBA that was negotiated before the bubble playoffs in 2020 there, that's now been changed. So that no trade clause follows the player now. So going to Vegas, technically, Dadonov still had the no trade clause and had already submitted the paperwork for this season, which included Anaheim. Unfortunate for us, but it's whatever.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So it sounded like what Freeman was saying was it's that somewhere during the trade conversation of going from Ottawa to Vegas, Vegas, the NHL, and their central registry all had the belief for some reason that the no trade clause was null after the deal, like after he was traded from Ottawa to Vegas for some reason. And Freeman's idea was that it was either because he was they were told that he hadn't filed a no trade list, or that he had given an old list, so there wasn't anything there. So, but pretty much it was just like, it sounds like when the trade went through, Dadonov or his agent Maxime Olivier pretty much just said like, hey, you can't do that, and that's how this all got brought up. So even though it was technically NHL approved. So
which is wild.
Yikes. Which is why the whole trade had to be voided and everything like that, because otherwise it would just been, okay, yeah, this doesn't work, and should have just been stopped dead, right? So, but somebody was missing, somebody in that line, or it was Ottawa not giving to Vegas, or like somewhere in there, or with the central registry or anything like that, somebody didn't know, and it was led to believe then that he didn't have this anymore. So that's a big yikes in my opinion. So like this could have all been avoided if just, somebody had done their job pretty much. So like this blew up to be a massive story because somebody didn't do their job. And there's a bunch of finger pointing still kind of going on. I even did it myself with our Twitter a little bit to Vegas's expense. But yeah, like just, somebody didn't do their job, and it made a massive story for like 4 days, 5 days kind of thing. So yikes.
Yeah. It's just an interesting situation. Like, it's now we know it's like, it's never going to happen again. Like either people are going to like look at these trade lists now, or there's going to be some sort of like, I don't know, central hub that all these no trade lists go to, so that everybody always has access to them. Not everybody, but everybody that needs to know has access to them.
Yeah, it also got brought up though that it was like Cap Friendly and I think Puckpedia both had the fact that he had a no trade clause still. So how did the NHL or the Vegas Golden Knights themselves not know that?
Well, those places would still show that it was a no trade clause, even though like, or I would assume they would still show that even if.
But like Cap Friendly is up enough on the NHL rules to know that no trade clause is still in effect, but somehow the NHL and its teams thought that it was gone. The NHL didn't understand their own rules. That kind of throws me off a little bit. So,
well, somebody in the NHL. Yeah, I don't know.
but also feels par for the course at the same time. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. I kind of don't really care that anymore.
fair.
It was interesting while it happened, but like,
Yeah,
I'm not,
I more
over it
felt
now,
bad
so.
for Dadonov, really, because
Mhm.
it's I was saying this on the watch along too when we were talking about it really quickly, that it was Dadonov. It was either you go to somewhere that you didn't want to go to, like you had specifically said, I do not want to go here, which by the way, it did come out that it was mainly tax reasons. So
Yeah.
like all 3 California teams and all 7 Canadian teams. So that makes your
Mhm.
your 10. It was purely for tax reasons. So
Yeah, makes sense.
but yeah, it was either you go to a place that you didn't want to go, or you go back to a team that just tried to trade you for Ryan Kessler, the ghost of Ryan Kessler,
The corpse
really
of Ryan Kessler.
the contract of Ryan Kessler,
Yeah.
and yeah, Nick Holden. But they also were like, yeah, here, and also take a 2nd round pick just to get rid of this guy off our cap.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
I mean, it
like,
kind of sucks, but
I get that it probably feels bad, but like I don't think it's because it's not like a lack of performance, like, oh, we don't want you anymore. It's like, okay, we literally have like too many players and not enough space. So like,
yeah,
we just have to send you somewhere because you are like, I don't even want to say overpaid because I don't think he is, but it's like you are just a big chunk of our cap space. And like you're a desirable player. Like, I don't know. I'm assuming that's what they said and how he probably took it. Like, it's not like,
yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if he's okay. So at this point, he's played 63 games and he has 30 points. I'm not sure if that's necessarily a $5 million player, but
no, it's not.
but
there's intangibles too, I'm sure, but
yeah, Ottawa was the team again that signed this deal. He was coming off of a season with the Florida Panthers where he played in 69 games, nice, and had 47 points. So that's a little bit closer to the $5 million range that you're looking at. So, but since then he hasn't that. So over the last 2 seasons so far, he scored 50 points. So
yeah, So I mean, it's not great. Like they definitely have better deals on that team, but like it's I think he probably understands the situation that that Vegas was in. So like I don't think there's any hard feelings. And if there was, he just lifted a massive middle finger to them. Last night.
That's the way that I'm thinking about
assists.
it. So yeah, that's the way I'd be thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly. I have a tweet I want to bring up here. Actually, there's sounds like there's going to be some repercussions for the. There's going to be a little bit of a penalty here on the Dadonov thing. So this says breaking: the NHL has announced penalties to certain NHL teams in relation to the terminated trade of Evgeny Dadonov. This is from at Arash Memerzada. I'm sorry about the pronunciation there. But this is from the NHL. It says the National Hockey League announced today that the following teams have been assessed certain penalties due to their actions involving Monday's canceled trade of player Evgeny Dadonov from Vegas to Anaheim.
Sorry,
we find these penalties to be fair and final. Yep.
Can I just stop you for a second here?
Yep.
This is satire.
Dude, don't ruin this.
Oh, okay. I thought. Sorry. Okay.
No,
my
bad.
Come on. I apologize for ruining the joke. I thought you were just going with it and hadn't read the whole thing, and I'm like, dude, no.
No, I obviously have. It's
my bad. Bad.
It's ruined.
It's ruined.
I'm still gonna finish reading it because anyone not watching wouldn't know. But it says Vegas Golden Knights, no penalty. Anaheim Ducks, no penalty. Ottawa Senators, no penalty. Vancouver Canucks, Roberto Luongo's salary recapture penalty of $3 million has been extended until 2028. Because that's just the NHL thing to do. Is just
yeah, it sounds about right.
Just for no reason, just hand out fines. Totally out of your control, but you get a penalty for it. That recapture penalty is so stupid.
Oh, it really is. That they need to get rid of that. It's ridiculous. Why penalize a team because somebody's like, yeah, I'm fucking old.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, to a point, I get it. You extended that player for that long.
Mm-hmm.
But also, at the time, that was legal. You could sign guys to 12-year contracts, to 15-year contracts. I think was like the case of Rick DiPietro. Like, he's going to get paid $1 million, I think, until like 2028 or something like that. It's like something stupid. But yeah, the whole recapture thing is ridiculous. I think. Like, I understand it to a point, but also it's one of the. There's a lot of dumb things the NHL does, and that's one of them. That's one of the bigger ones, I think. So
yeah, I also think it's funny that because like Luongo was traded to Florida, so like he wasn't even like in Vancouver, and like I get that it was because Vancouver signed the contract and Florida had nothing to do with it, but like he wasn't even playing for Vancouver and then decided to retire, and then it's like, oh, you haven't thought about this guy in 3, 4, 5 years, however long it was, but you're gonna get penalized for this now.
Yeah, I want to see who signed him to that contract. I just want to see that again. Yeah, this is the last year of that as well. So,
okay.
Yeah, so I was signed signed in 2009. That went from the 2010 season to that contract, like just normally would be finishing this year.
That's wild.
Jesus.
And how old was how old is Luongo right now?
Currently 42.
Okay. Like
so he's like 30 when he signed that or something like that.
You know what? I kind of get it now. Like you were dumb enough to sign a 30-year-old goaltender to a contract that takes him till he's 42.
Yeah, I'm just gonna double check that he was 30. I think that math is correct in my head, but
maybe. But like that's insane. that's absolutely mental.
Yeah, born in 79, so yeah, he would have been 30 or 31.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait, is that math right? Yeah. Jesus.
I mean, I get that they probably didn't have a ton of leverage because Luongo was like, I want to play and I want you to sign me for 10 years.
Right. It was Mike Gillies who signed him to that contract. Dude, Mike Gillies is a fucking idiot.
Like from Luongo's perspective, like why not? But oh man, that's just like how many goalies have even played past their 40s? Like not many.
I mean, there's been a lot more recently.
Right? Like, yeah, but back then, like he probably would have been like the one of like maybe, I don't know, 10 goalies that have ever played like after 40 years old. Like right now we have Mike Smith and Craig Anderson. I think those are the only guys that are in their 40s.
Yeah. I think that deal 100% tanked Mike Gillies' career. He only ever was the GM for the Vancouver Canucks, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Probably.
For 5 years or almost 6 years there, it looks like. I just want to double check that because that's what Cap Friendly is showing. But Mike Gillis. Or not Gillies, Gillis. Just double checking here. Yeah, post playing. Yeah, he was an agent turned general manager. April 8th, 2014, Gillis was relieved of his duties as the president and GM of the Vancouver Canucks by Francesco Aquilini. Right after the Canucks were eliminated from the 2014 playoffs and as season ticket renewal levels had dropped off. The next day, former Canucks captain Trevor Linden was hired as the president of hockey operations. And that was it. So
nice.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man, this is just a heads up to everybody. This is going to be a long episode. We haven't even got to the Batman yet, and it's the
Batman will probably be about a half-hour conversation, but
yeah. So longer, anyways. But, before we get to the Batman, though, really quickly, let's talk about upcoming games. We just got the one to talk about so far. Or on this episode. That's Saturday against San Jose. It'll be in San Jose at 7:30 Pacific time. I mean, we should beat the Sharks. Hopefully Dostal gets the start. The Sharks still are a decent team. Like it's not going to be an easy game by any means, but
fun fact, I'm looking at the standings right now. San Jose with 64 games played, 64 points at 500. Two games in hand on the Ducks, who only have 1 point more.
Yeah. So we're kind of like, I guess, in the same ballpark in terms of the teams, but definitely can't take these guys lightly. You know, Thomas Hertl having a solid season. Timo Meyer's doing well. Burns and Carlson are still solid defensemen. Capo Kakinen, they just got him at the deadline.
Yeah, just played the other night against Edmonton, lost 5-2, if I'm remembering that correctly.
Yeah, I watched that game, and it was not his fault at all. Like,
yeah,
I saw that. But like, still, it's not like 4 goals. Like, they were not his fault at all. So
yeah, Kakinen got traded to the San Jose Sharks there on trade deadline, and I went, oh, there goes my fantasy team.
Yeah,
for goalies. So, but
yeah,
I was just like, that sucks.
Yeah, Sharks also have James Reimer, who, from what I hear, is having an all right season.
All right, yeah.
So, I mean, there's still a lot of things, if you're a Sharks fan, to be excited about. And if you're a Ducks fan, a lot of things to be nervous about. So, yeah.
Which
the only thing I have...
sounds about par as well.
Yeah. The only thing I have to add is Logan Couture is still questionable for this game. He took a Burns clapper to the back against Edmonton. So I would be surprised if he's able to play against us on Saturday. So obviously I'm not glad he's injured, but might be
you're okay if he's just out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Oh man. James Reimer this year has 17 wins, one of them being a shutout, a .916 save percentage, and a 2.81 goals against. All right.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. I'm just gonna pull up Money Puck here for a second because I want to see his like expected.
Oh, sure.
Let's see where he's at there. So, because sometimes like you can look at like the basic stats and some most of the time that can give you a good idea, but sometimes you don't know. James Reimer's having a decent season. He's 3.8 goals save above expected on the season. So
yeah, solid,
decent enough. Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
No complaints there. So yeah, it's still gonna be a tough game, but yeah, do you want to predict a score for this one or?
I'm not gonna predict a score, but just with how things have been going, we have lost 8 in a row, and I honestly don't see the end of it. So I'm gonna call for 9.
Have we actually lost 8 in a row?
Yeah, we have, unfortunately.
Oh man,
the last win that we had, I believe, I believe, was against the Sharks. Actually, I'm just double checking that here.
I mean, that could be kind of a good sign.
Maybe, yeah. We'll have to see here. When was the last win? Yeah, it was against the San Jose Sharks on March 6th.
Well, if the rest of our season wasn't bad enough, like this 8-game losing streak 100% undoes the magic of that 8-game win streak we had.
Yep.
Well, it just totally cancels it out. Like it never even happened. And I mean, we've had multiple other bad losing streaks this season, but yeah.
Yeah.
Remember how much hope we had during that winning streak?
Yeah, now we have just hope for next season. It's all good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that wraps up the hockey stuff. Yeah, no, that's it. Now we're into the Batman. Okay, so let's take a quick break, and then on the other side, we will get into our very heavy spoiler discussion of the Batman. So you're not going to miss anything if you back out now, but do come back for Batman talk if you've seen it or after you have watched it, because I don't know, I think it'll be some interesting conversation. There's lots to unpack here, but quick break first, and then we'll catch you on the other side.
Did you know that your favorite band also loves your favorite hockey team? If you love hockey and you love music, you're gonna love Bar Down Breakdown, a podcast that explores the crossover between alternative music and the sport we love, hockey.
Every NHL player wants to be in a band, and every band guy wants to be in a pro athlete.
With guests from all over the globe, come along with us as we interview some of the most captivating names in alternative music and talk about why we love hockey and how it's influenced us.
There was for a few seconds, a thought of like, well, maybe we should wear Montreal jerseys, and the NHL was like, I think you should stay neutral. And we're like, yeah, you know what, you're probably right.
So tune in every Tuesday on the Hockey Podcast Network, where we'll have a brand new guest and a unique look into the bridge between hockey and music.
Something's in the cave. Ooh.
Holy shit.
I didn't hear you. What did you say there?
I just said, "Holy shit!" I was watching you like as the ad was going on because I could like we have like little thumbnails where you can see each other still on our end, but I was like, "What's he doing?" And then I saw you take your headphones off and you're moving around and like no glasses and then holding a guitar and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And then I saw you put the Batman mask on. I was like, "Oh god, I know what this is gonna be."
Oh man, I was like, I
good.
even put it like in the chat. I'm just like, have an ad before the Batman discussion just purely because I wanted to do that. I can't wait to go back to that episode now. Like, just like listen to it and just see how like hear how bad it is, but then also go watch it like on TV or something like that and see how bad it looks as well.
It's probably not as bad as you think. I'll tell you that.
It's something at least. We'll put it that way.
It's definitely something. Okay. Well, if you've made it this far, we are going to be heavily into spoiler territory. So no, you're pushing your luck at this point. But we're going to get into the Batman talk here. Wrong one.
Here, hold on a second. We got just for those here that are watching. Boom. Spoilers.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. So we've already kind of talked overall impressions of the movie. We both really enjoyed it, and just kind of how dark it was. But I see you've got a few points here. You want to talk about
I guess there were
cast,
just more
story,
kinda...
music, and costumes. So we'll kind of hit all of those because all of those things. I mean, that's kind of what makes a movie is the cast, the story, the music, and the costumes. Like, that's it. But they were all like phenomenal for a superhero movie.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I guess if you want to start kind of casting that sort of thing, how did you ever watch the Twilight movies?
I got drugged to the very, very last one. Like
Sorry, at first I thought you said you got drugged to the first one. I was like, what? Okay, like dragged. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. No, I did not get high and watch Twilight, Nate. No,
I thought like somebody drugged you and then took you. I was like, Jesus Christ! All right.
I mean, maybe because that's what it would have taken to convince me to go, and I ended up there. So it was an awful experience. I remember one thing from the movie, and it was the very, very end. And what's the last one even called? It's something part 2. Twilight, the ending part 2. I don't know. That's the one that I went to. And I remember there was like this epic fight scene. It was like 10 minutes long. And I was like, oh, this is sick. And then somebody died. I don't remember who it was, but somebody important died.
A lot of fucking people died.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, sick. Like this is a good movie now. Like I'm all in. I want to see the other ones. And then nope. Turns out that entire sequence was a vision of what would happen if the character made a certain decision, and then it didn't happen. And there was no
vampire mob bosses decided to fuck shit up. Yeah,
yeah, something like that. I don't know, but and then I was like, so it didn't even happen. And then they were just like, oh, I guess maybe we won't do that. All right, everybody loves each other. The end.
Yeah.
So
everyone in the theater is the two. Okay, so I know so much about it because my girlfriend just watched them and like made me watch them with her. So that's why I'm able to just throw out here like
people still watch.
Oh yeah,
those?
She wanted to watch them because they're getting pulled off of Netflix right away here in Canada.
Oh, okay.
So
but was it for like the reason of like Cats, you know, that really awful musical where it's like it's so bad you have to see it, or was it like she's like these movies like define who I am as a person and like you need to watch?
Okay, no, not that far, but she does enjoy them. So and I'll say this honestly, I'll throw it out there. Like, yeah, I read the books when I was younger and that sort of thing. The movies ruined it for me though, and just like everything kind of around them. But having been kind of made to watch those movies again, I enjoyed Robert Pattinson still in them, and they were so long ago as well that like I remember even seeing when the initial casting was done, right, for this movie, and it was like, oh yeah, Robert Pattinson is going to be Bruce Wayne Batman, and everyone's just like, oh shit, like we're going to have sparkly Batman. It's like, no, the guy does really good work actually. And for myself, I loved him as both Batman. He did very well as Batman.
Yeah.
But he did, it is a little bit of a different version of Bruce Wayne, right? It's not the guy who's who's living it up as the rich billionaire bachelor, right, to kind of cover up for Batman. And yet he's just dove in fully on the Batman and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
To the point that I was laughing at the one scene where he's like forced to come upstairs pretty much, and he puts on sunglasses in the house because the light is coming in from outside. I was like, I kind of enjoyed that actually. I was like, man, like that dude, it just, in a way, it showed this guy has been like literally in the dark for so long, right? That like sunlight is not his friend like a bat. So there were a lot of things in there that just, it just had it's just like subtle storytelling in itself. But I really enjoyed Robert Pattinson, honestly, as like a very depressed, like still dealing with everything fresh feeling kind of Bruce Wayne. But he also did a great job as but he also did a great job as like a year two Batman who everyone's like he was kind of just coming out of the shadows in a way with like Gotham PD and whatnot, to the point of like, a lot of the officers are still like, are you sure about this, to Jim Gordon, who's played by Jeffrey Wright, who also like, that's another guy that he did awesome with that role. I loved it. But he's still like this intimidating myth almost at this point, right? So it's an origin story to Batman, but not an origin story at the same time, where
we don't get the killing of Martha and Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, that was something I said to you. I was like, I think this is one of the first movies that we don't see that actually. But like, you're just kind of thrown right into it. Like, he's Batman. He's been doing this for a couple of years now.
Not everybody really knows who it is, because there was like it was a pretty early on scene where he was like gonna fuck up some bad guys, and they were like, "Who are you?" And he it was like genuinely like, who is this guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of
so
thing.
Which I kind of liked actually that, like that was kind of the main scene from the trailers that we were seeing, and it was like within the first 5 minutes. I actually really enjoyed that. So it set the tone in the trailer. It set the tone for what this movie was going to be, but it also did that for the movie, right?
Yeah,
it said it that this isn't I know we had the Dark Knight trilogy, and we had the Snyder Batman that kills people for fun pretty much and brands them and whatnot, but like this is going to be a little bit of a different take on the origins in a way of the Batman. So, and I like that it leaned into the idea of the Batman, right? Like kind of that bit more of a myth thing as well, which the Dark Knight did as well, don't get me wrong, but like just a little bit different. My favorite part about this movie was that they took it in a bit more of the detective role rather than like the superhero movie. Right. Because that's one of the taglines of Batman, is the world's greatest detective. He's not quite there yet, but like he's still trying to figure out how to be Batman. It is only like year 2 for this iteration, but like you can see it there. Like he makes mistakes every now and then, but he's a very smart dude, right? He is on that path to being the world's greatest detective and whatnot.
Yeah. And so, I think it was cool that they established that in a movie where the Riddler was the main villain as well, because that's really where the whole world's greatest detective thing shines, is like when he's facing up against the Riddler. Yeah. Like you see it in like, say, the Dark Knight trilogy, where he's like, oh, I know, like he's kind of like a step ahead of the police, because he like knows what the Joker's gonna do, and like he knows
he's figuring out
where to find him. Like he's like you can tell that he's kind of more there than a lot of the Gotham City detectives. But this movie is like with like the riddles that the Riddler gives you, it's like, and he's like figuring them out like just like that.
Yeah, just
like
right
the Riddler
away.
bangs him off, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, what's the answer?" And he's like, "It's this."
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, okay, like he's on top of it. And like some of the not like puzzles. What's the word? Like codexes, I guess, that the Riddler
Yeah.
creates, like in this movie. He's like, it takes him some time to figure out, obviously, but like,
and even he doesn't
like,
figure it
goes
out.
back
Like
to-
that, Alfred gets it.
oh, I guess Alfred does,
So,
yeah. But yeah, like he's kind of like pulling it apart. Like it's relatively quickly that he figures it out as well with Alfred too. But yeah. I guess while we're on the topic of casting too, what do you think of Andy Serkis's?
I liked it. I don't know. Like there's always kind of the history. Like even Michael Keaton's version of Alfred, you could tell this dude was like a badass kind of earlier in his life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before he retired to the wonderful life of butlering. But Andy Serkis's Alfred was, you tell he's still like, he was a badass in his own way, I guess, but it was also a little bit closer to, I can't remember the actor's name, but the original actor, maybe not original, because I guess he still had the 60s, but like the one that was with like throughout the Joel or the George Clooney and Michael Keaton Batmans, and Val Kilmer, like the ones from like the 80s and the 90s, just kind of that, still kind of that gentler soul. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it exactly. Like there's little things from like different Alfreds throughout the years, right? But kind of makes it his own at the same time. I really enjoyed Andy Serkis in this role personally. So, but what about you?
No, I thought it was good too. Yeah, I thought he filled like the young Alfred role, like, because obviously Alfred's supposed to be quite a bit older, but he had like the kind of like what's the word, like the hot middle-aged dad kind of vibe to him,
Yeah,
like I don't know,
the DILF.
put him like maybe it is, like the DILF. I put him in like, I don't know, his 50s, where like he's got like that touch of gray and like he's not like young and spry and running around and stuff like that, but he's like, it's not like, oh my god, like a strong gust of wind is gonna snap your bones kind of
thing. Exactly.
Like you take the Alfred from the Dark Knight trilogy and like when he's opening the mail and from the Riddler and the bomb goes off, like the Dark Knight Alfred's not surviving that. He's too frail. But like younger Andy Serkis Alfred,
I don't know though. Michael Keaton's Alfred was able to lift the bloody log.
I guess, yeah. It's
that was a horrible
I don't
impression.
know. It's just it's just like a younger version. So it's I don't know. I liked it as well.
Just like the casting throughout this movie.
Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman was good too.
Was great. Yeah. I'm just gonna throw an image. Yeah, there we go. Set the tone.
Do it.
Stares us down. He's literally staring at us. I love it. But Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle, I thought was really good as well. So
again, it was kind of like an origin for her as well, without being like, this is your origin story, but it's like you said, like year 2 Catwoman. So.
And just that we had that kind of romance, like kind of romance, I guess, between Catwoman and the Batman, but which is kind of similar, I guess, to Batman Returns, I guess, as well, which also featured the Penguin, who was played by Colin Farrell in this. I want to pull up.
He was unrecognizable as Colin Farrell.
Where's that image here? Yeah, look at this. Props to the makeup department. Like, that doesn't look like Colin Farrell. That's incredible.
No, absolutely not. I had no idea it was him until the credits rolled.
Yeah. It's great work.
It was phenomenal. Yeah.
And then we'll get into some other like costume stuff and whatnot in a bit here. You can kind of, I guess, see the pictures that I was scrolling through if you're watching on YouTube or that. But Paul Dano as well as the Riddler was like intimidating, but also once he was, behind bars, which again, this is a spoiler movie or spoiler review, then he kind of, he doesn't have that he becomes less frightening almost once he's put in jail, right? It's not it's kind of the Wizard of Oz thing, right? Where it's like, it seems like this larger than life kind of character who's doing all this stuff. And then in the end, it's just, a scared, angry orphan, in the end.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So
It's obviously not like relatable to either of us because we're not like sad, angry orphans. But like,
yeah.
but this Riddler was just like some random dude. Like he was. They said it multiple times in the movie. Like this guy's like just a nobody essentially. Like
Yeah.
nobody knew who he was. He didn't feel like anybody knew who he was. Like so like in that respect, like not saying that again that like we're nobodies, but like it's just it's like some random dude, you know? So like it was relatable in that way, I guess. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, I think.
Okay.
So
Not saying that either of us are like, serial killer people, but like it's just it's just like you're casual person. Like it's you could easily like run into him like picking up some duct tape at Home Depot and like not even bat an eye. And then all of a sudden he's like murdering the commissioner.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and they even showed that in the movie itself, right? Like he's at the funeral for the mayor, right? He's up in the balcony.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that's him, right? So, and also one thing I liked with what they did with the Riddler in this movie is they didn't show his face actually until he was being arrested at the cafe.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that actually.
Yeah,
so
it was very
cool.
It
Just more of that mystery kind of thing. So, but I mean,
it
obviously,
really immersed you in
casting, you know who it is. But yeah.
It like immersed you into the story though, because it's like, okay, nobody knows what this guy looks like. So, and as an audience member, you also don't know what that guy looks like. So it was
exactly
very cool how
really
just that like subtle thing of like not actually revealing his face, kind of like put you more into the story, but like you still knew who the character was. So it was very cool. And
there was I forgot he was in the movie until he popped up. John Turturro. No, I'm saying that right. Turturro. There we go. I don't know why I always struggle with his name. Playing Carmine Falcone though, he did that role wonderfully. I've seen him mainly in more like comedic kind of roles, but he played like the serious mob boss very well. I really enjoyed it. And it was only for that split second where I was like, oh, hey, that's the dude from Transformers. And then I was immersed right away into it. Like once he started talking. So yeah, he did a great job as Falcone, I think. So
yeah. Actually, I forgot about this. I wanted to say this about Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman as well. Like the scenes with her and Falcone were like phenomenal.
Those were sweet.
Acting.
Yeah.
Like she kind of played like it's almost like she had a couple different roles. Like she had the Catwoman role. She had like I mean, obviously she was kind of like faking being sad and scared and helpless when she was talking to Falcone, but she did that really well. She had like the like waitress, woman of the night kind of thing, however you want to, whatever role you want to do that. But like she had like those two kind of separate roles, and like you could tell, I don't know, it was just like different. Like you actually kind of believed that she wasn't Catwoman, and then she was Catwoman, and like it was just very separate. So I thought she did a good job that way. So
yeah, I really enjoyed it. So actually while we're I went too far there. While we're kind of looking, I like just like again, this kind of being an origin story. Like not everyone's quite in their places, I guess, of like the Batman mythos that we all know. So even just like she's not Catwoman exactly, but just like the stitching in her makeshift mask makes the cat ears, right? Like it's supposed to be a not intentional thing. I'm kind of laying into the costumes a little bit more now.
I think they kind of overlap, so that's fine.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I'm gonna go back to Colin Farrell's look as the Penguin. Like that's incredible. Like I remember watching the trailers and being like, "Oh, who plays that?" And I like searched up Colin Farrell, and I'm like, "Excuse me, what? That's awesome." So, even the look of the Riddler as well, kind of having the mask going on, kind of like the Zodiac Killer is what it sounded like they were kind of going after, and just like the way that they committed the murders and the clues and that sort of thing as well. So, it all just looked great. I don't want to say it was all like, oh, super realistic and everything like that, because that's kind of what the Dark Knight tried to do, right? And then everybody kind of started to follow for a little bit with that. I more liked it how it was. It's still like accepted that it's a comic book adaptation basically.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I had those elements of realism, but also the surrealism in a way.
Mhm.
Um, it felt plausible, but it's not the real world, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, exactly. Like if you take out, say, Batman and just put, say, like James Gordon detective in there,
yeah, it's a murder
just
mystery.
like it's just a solid murder mystery movie, but
Yeah.
it just happens to be a Batman movie instead.
Yeah.
So
My favorite thing that was going around after though was Robert Pattinson was just every emo kid of like, no, I can't go yet. I haven't put on my eyeliner yet. So
yeah,
but I like that they actually like they really embrace that. Yeah, like in the sense of practicality, I guess that yeah, without the eye makeup all around, yeah, you'd see his eyes right in part of like his face kind of thing.
Mhm.
Because even I remember for Batman Returns, there's the part where he like rips his cowl off kind of thing, but because he's ripping that off, they don't have the eye makeup on him, right? So you notice it for a split second, you're like that, like right away something is off here.
Yeah.
And it's when you clue in that it was the eye makeup. So they like I think this is I could be wrong on this one now, but I think this is the first time that you see that he's got eye makeup on, right?
I
to do
think
this.
so.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hit the microphone. So
Yeah.
but and I also love that we had like a couple times of like him like putting it on as well, right?
Mhm.
Just to kind of show that kind of like the early days in a way, but just there is some practicality to this. So
Yeah, it was very cool.
and even a little bit more into the practicality. This was just a theory going around that the bat logo here, that if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for doing that, by the way, like and subscribe to the channel. That if the theory going around was that the bat symbol is made of the gun that killed his parents or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was just a theory going around. I'm not sure what became of that or if there was an explanation given. But I like that it was actually not just, the emblem, the symbol on his chest, but it was also practical. Like we saw him like have a piece of it off, and he cut through something at one point, but then he also cuts through the wire in the final act.
Mm-hmm.
That like there was a practicality to even just having the symbol there, right? Like it was, it's to show that he's the Batman, I guess, right? Kind of be to the comics. But there was practicality to it of like, this is like Batman's whole thing is gadgets, right? The chest piece is a gadget, which I think was I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
So
no, it is cool.
I also love the one of the major parts of Batman as well as his dynamic with James Gordon. And we did see the early days of it as well with the Dark Knight movies. But I do like how they did it with this movie as well, right? Like they're still kind of feeling each other out a little bit, but they do have a very large trust at the same time that they're doing this. This scene in particular here when they're at like the police station, right? And he's like, "Okay, like you're gonna hit me. Here's a key," kind of thing, and bail, and I'll meet you here. And then like, he clocks him or whatever and does the run, and they meet up later, and he just goes, "You could have pulled it at least." And he's like, "I had to make it look real." So there's like, you can tell there's a little bit of history to them already, which is great. So, but there's that trust there, but also just that little bit of uneasiness, it feels like still. So
I like this version of James Gordon as well, because like he's not the commissioner yet, so it's not like he has like all this responsibility. Like he's kind of like the badass and like is willing to like bend or even break a couple rules kind of thing. Like he's
as long as basically like, as long as it's not like going down like criminal routes pretty much for him, because that's what he's trying to
like
fight. But
he's still a good guy, but like he's willing to he's willing to break a rule if it means it's gonna if the result is gonna be better than say not breaking.
He still has
he's not supposed to let Batman out like because he's a cop, but he's like, well, Batman's a good guy, so I'm gonna give him the key, let him punch me in the face. And,
Yeah,
like,
I'm like,
even though
he's
I'm not
still
supposed to let him
advocating for
run.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So like, just as an example, there was other moments there too where you could just tell he wasn't doing things he was doing things he wasn't supposed to, but it's not like some of the other cops that were like dirty cops, like
yeah.
selling the whatever the eye drop drug things were.
Yeah.
So
yeah, what else do we have here that I wanted to touch on or that sort of thing? Yeah, we talked about cast, talked about the story, we talked about the costumes, the music. That was something that you and I started talking about right away, actually, once the movie was done.
Yeah.
Which, go figure, being music majors, but I mean, I kind of jokingly played it off. The use of Nirvana, Something in the Way, was interesting as well. Like, it just periodically came back every now and then. It almost kind of signaled like new chapters to the story, I felt like. But also the theme by Michael Giacchino, if I'm not mistaken, was the not writer, composer, yeah, for this movie. Yeah, who was it? I believe it was Michael Giacchino. I'm just double checking that here. And why can't I find it? Oh yeah, it was Michael Giacchino. Who, I'm just trying to pull up what else he did. I know him from a lot, but I'm just trying to remember exactly here. Okay, so he's done like some of the Mission Impossible movies, Jurassic World, does a lot of the MCU movies. Cool. He did the MCU Spider-Man. He also did some Pixar movies, including The Incredibles, Ratatouille, Up. Did Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Zootopia. He did Rogue One. Yeah, the Batman. He'll be doing the upcoming Jurassic World movie, as well as Thor: Love and Thunder, which is supposed to come out later this year. So,
nice.
And he's also done for video games, Medal of Honor, and Call of Duty. So, yeah, the guy's done a lot of work. I knew I kind of recognized his work a little bit there too. So,
the music was awesome. The Batman theme was fantastic.
Yeah, there's some characters that are just so hard to write for after something has been done so well, right? Like, you have Danny Elfman's, like, you think Batman, that you normally think Danny Elfman, right? The theme from the 1989 movie, which they even alluded to in Justice League, when they're on the rooftop there with J.K. Simmons' version of Commissioner Gordon. But yeah, this was this one was one that worked perfectly for the idea of Batman. I think could kind of like get placed wherever, except maybe the '60s version, but was also just it's literally two notes, but like it just shows that you don't need anything crazy to have something good, right?
Yeah.
So. And it was played in so many different ways as well, right? Like you could have like the emphatic entire orchestra like we were seeing for the car chase, or you could have it, I think it was just played on a piano when he's, kind of sleuthing around whatever crime scene or that kind of thing. Like, it was played in different ways, and it still had weight to it no matter what way it was played. So I really enjoyed it. So
yeah, it was super cool. The piece that really stood out to me was the use of like the Ave Maria song. That's
you were talking about that. When was that part again?
It was throughout. Like, that's what the Riddler was always singing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it's usually like a beautiful song, like that opera singers like.
Oh yeah, don't they?
Like the good ones always like they kill
I thought
it.
It was. So. Yeah, okay. I think I was seeing something about it. Don't they like change it to they change the key or something like that for it? I forget.
I think so. Yeah, I'm not 100%
Is it
sure.
Go to a minor maybe?
Maybe. Yeah, but
we're getting really, I guess not even really nerdy music, but like maybe more for the average person.
Yeah, I want to see if I can find a performance of it that's hopefully not copyrighted. I don't know. Let's try this one just to. Yeah, I don't know. Well, yeah. Let me give this
throw it up here.
a share here. We'll find out if it's copyrighted or not. But I mean,
so.
like the piece is so old, but the performance might be, might not be.
Yeah.
So, well, here we go. I hope it's a good one at least.
Yeah, now I hear it. Oh yeah, now I know the beat you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like super famous, but I want to see if I can find the Riddler's version here. Oh yes, you guys can't hear it yet, but I can. So. It's
found it?
But
Okay.
it's like bone
I
chilling.
was just about to listen to it.
Okay.
Or I was just about to find it. But yeah, if you got it, perfect.
I do, yeah. This one might ding us for copyright, but that's okay because it's beautiful. Not beautiful, it's the opposite, but
it's haunting, but beautiful at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, it's just it's buffering. Come on, you can do it.
It's got this.
Okay, there we go. I just had to refresh. Here we go. It's just like so unsettling. It
is.
I don't.
Which
yeah.
The theme is perfect for this version of the Riddler. Just unsettling all around.
Yeah, and I honestly think it's like the very high note, like on like the Maria. I think that it's just like down a couple tones, like maybe even just like a semitone, just enough to like make it creepy. Like you said, probably like minor rather than major. But and then there's times where he's like singing it. I think he sings it in the jail cell scene where we presumably see the interaction with the Joker as well. I think he sings it in there too, and it's just like creepy.
Yeah, which I think can be a good place to wrap up on as well. Is we had the hint at the Joker. It was uncredited or not uncredited, sorry, but like it wasn't directly said it was the Joker, or even in the credits said it was the Joker, but it was confirmed to be. And then a couple days ago, so there wasn't an after credits for this scene, but there was a website that popped up, and you could find a bunch of like different stuff for after and whatnot. And recently people were sent back to that link again, and they had to solve these puzzles, and they got treated to a deleted scene from this movie. That's Batman interacting with this version of the Joker, who is played by Barry Keoghan, which was done phenomenally, I think. Even just for like a 5-minute thing that we got. You can tell there's a little bit of history with the Joker and Batman already. That they had just like one fight at least. Because this version of the Joker brings up like, oh, it's almost our anniversary and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that was a really cool
And
line.
yeah, it was just,
I really
it was
liked
also,
that they put that in there, like that, because the Joker's kind of always about like that. I guess like it's almost like like he thinks of it as like a relationship, like almost romantic relationship with the Batman. So yeah, it was like super cool that they used that line to be like, oh hey, you're back, came to see me for our anniversary, and he's like, fuck off.
yeah, I'm not here for that. But it's funny that you say that too, because they do bring that up, that yeah, it's basically a relationship, like a very strained relationship between Batman and the Joker in the Lego Batman movie, which is somehow still like one of the best Batman movies of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's done in such a goofy, like lighthearted way, but it's still an amazing Batman story at the same time. But we can talk about that one another day, I think. But yeah, this was just unsettling. But I kind of enjoyed actually that, yeah, you knew that it was the Joker, right? Like you figured that out pretty quickly. Even if you didn't see like the title once it was released to the public.
Yeah.
And they just show you like glimpses here and there, so you get the idea of what he looks like. I forget who the person was, and I apologize for that, but there was somebody who took because there's a shot that you see from like the middle of his nose to the top of his forehead, and then another shot from the middle of his nose to his chin. But you never saw just clearly the Joker's face, which I kind of like that actually.
Yeah,
you saw
cool.
it like the most you saw of it just full, but it was blurry.
Yeah, and again, it was like it made it unsettling because you're like, I don't know what this guy looks like, and it's it really matched the dynamic of the movie.
Yeah, and speaking of unsettling, I will give a little bit of a warning, I guess. Just if you're a little squeamish, we'll just call it that. If you're watching on YouTube, I am going to show a picture here in a second that somebody on Twitter had taken those two frames though of the different halves of his face and put them together so that we had an idea of what this Joker looks like here. And to put it simply, dude's fugly.
Oh yeah.
But like I say, that is one of the biggest compliments I think I can give for that though. Is it's a haunting look. Right away I was unfortunately seeing comments of like, oh, we're just kind of going down the Heath Ledger path again and that sort of thing, to which I say kindly shut up with that. That obviously like same thing we were talking about with Alfred. Like everyone's going to take a little bit of different iterations, right? Like some of these characters are almost 100 years old at this point, right? Some things are going to overlap with different interpretations,
and they've been done multiple times too.
Yeah, exactly. But this isn't quite the Heath Ledger Joker in terms of the look, where he took a razor blade or a knife, right, and cut his mouth open, or somebody else cut his mouth open. The origin of the Joker, which has never like fully been, this is the definitive origin of the Joker kind of thing. But the commonality throughout all of it though is that he falls into a vat of acid that, deforms him. And if you're kind of going for the little bit of the realism that or plausibility, I guess, that this movie's going for, you fall into a vat of acid, you're probably not going to come out just, white skin and green hair. You're probably going to, be deformed, which is exactly what we're seeing here. He's missing he's missing large chunks of his hair, and his face is all messed up and stuff like that. He's got I forget the term, but like up at like in kind of like his lip area and whatnot. Like this is almost a little bit more creepy, I think, than say Heath Ledger. So but and like even just like watching it, like you can pick out kind of like a thing here and there of like, okay, like kind of the unsettling voice reminds you of Ledger, but then there was some of the like in the Joker way, the attempts at comedy, what he finds funny that Jack Nicholson did really well in the 1989 version and stuff like that. And even some of the I'll say for Leto, it was as maybe not great as a performance as a lot of people hoped for, especially coming off of Heath Ledger. But then again, you build somebody up on a pedestal and it's never going to reach that. Kind of that there's almost want to call it like smart insanity, right? Which is very much the Joker, I think. that you had from Leto. So like you could see like a lot of these different iterations were pulled into to Keegan's performance here. And this was only a 5-minute deleted scene, and I love this interpretation already. So I'm not going to go as far to say as, like to try to rank it or something like that in terms of performances.
Well, yeah. We'll wait for the Batman too, because I'm assuming he'll be one of the main villains in that.
So, but even then, there was something that somebody brought up, like just an idea, and I kind of like it. I'd actually be okay if the Joker was a little bit more of a background character. He doesn't have to be the main villain. I think it'd be kind of interesting.
I agree.
To see something like that.
I agree. I think I would love to see a Batman movie or franchise trilogy, I guess, that doesn't rely on the Joker, because I think it would be very hard to do well.
Yeah.
So I would love to see that one day, but I just don't see it ever really happening. Like the Joker and the Batman are pretty synonymous at this point. Like it's hard to have one without the other. Like, you can have a movie. Like the Joker was hardly in this one. He was 30 seconds, but we didn't even see the interaction of the Joker and Batman until the deleted scene. Same with Batman Begins. Like we didn't see the Joker at all in that one. All we got at the end was like, hey, there's this new guy and this is his calling card, and then that's it. So but then he's the rest of the not in the rest of the franchise, but important for the rest of the franchise.
Exactly. Which also, just to go back to that for a second, was great. Similar to this movie, how like it can set up sequels, but is also, it feels like its own contained story at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. I do just want to talk quickly about the scene between the Joker and the Riddler, like in the jail cell. I think I don't know. I just thought it was like a really interesting dynamic too, and especially because both interpretations of these characters are so raw and unsettling. The conversation between them was also like very unsettling. So I think I'm excited to see more of that dynamic, because other Batman movies, like they just have these separate characters that are all causing issues for Batman, but you don't really see them together. But we've seen that in Marvel movies where like, bad guys will kind of reach out and almost team up. It's like, I don't necessarily agree with you, but we have this common enemy. So
and one thing that I like that it's, because like for DC, they were trying to do the Marvel thing, right, of having like the cinematic universe and everything like that. And I think really the last of it that we're gonna see could be like Flashpoint, or I guess we still have Aquaman coming out too. I don't know, like DC's trying, but at the same time, I really enjoy just the standalone kind of movies, right? Like not everything has to weave together. The things that DC does that weave together that I really enjoy are the animated movies. Honestly, those are great. But one thing I was seeing was a lot of people going like, oh, it was bad humor in it, or that sort of thing, or it didn't make me laugh. And it's like, it wasn't supposed to. If you laughed at it, you got the jokes that kind of happened throughout, but they weren't kind of some of the forced ones, I guess, that Marvel movies have, which, don't get me wrong, I enjoy them, but that wouldn't work for a movie like this.
No.
Like the one joke that I saw everybody kind of pointing to and was like, oh, that was lame or whatever, was the thumb drive one. But like, I think you heard me though. I chuckled at that, right? Because it's just humor that's natural to this, right? Like it's a little unsettling as well in a way, but like it's not the here's the joke in your face kind of thing, right? So and even
I don't even know if it was really supposed to be like much of a joke, like it is a joke obviously, but it's
also solving the clue.
You're not really like you're not expected to laugh at it, I guess. It's just like, I can see the irony in it.
There was I don't remember exactly what the line was, but there was even one by the Penguin when Gordon and Batman were interrogating him, and he says something I can't remember, but like you kind of just chuckle at it because it goes by it really quickly, right? Because it's just mid conversation, kind of more like a passing remark. I want to watch this movie again. It was good, so I enjoyed it.
I can't wait for it to come out on like on digital so I can watch it again. But yeah.
Yeah. So,
Um,
and that's the biggest complaint that I saw about this movie, honestly, was a lot of, and like, don't get me wrong, I'm a Marvel fanboy too, or that, but like, they're expecting that kind of a movie. And then they're like, oh, this sucked because it wasn't that. And it's like, no, it's a different movie in its own.
totally different.
I like that
Yeah.
that it leaned more into the detective side of it and not
Yeah.
so much the superhero angle of it. So
Mhm.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that's about all I have to say on that. So
Yeah.
I don't have anything really to add. Actually, no, that's a lie. I do, but it's quick. This, just with how like kind of dark this was, it really reminded me of like the Arkham games that I guess are like about a decade old now. I think a lot of it was the music that reminded me of that, but I actually went and this game or this movie made me want to go back and revisit those games. So I started playing Arkham Asylum again. I popped that in a couple weeks ago. And yeah, it's the atmosphere is very similar, I guess, and a lot of the music is too. But yeah, it made me want to revisit that just with how raw and dark it is. So would definitely recommend those games if you haven't played them before. I know you have, Nate, but in general to other people. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you got that vibe or if that was just me, but
Yeah, I 100% did. So
cool. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's I guess that's about it on Batman stuff.
yeah, it was good talk. I like that. So
Yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that as well. Again, a little bit of a longer episode than we're used to here. So I noticed you had something here for What's Quacking. Do you want to save that for next time, or do you want?
yeah, let's save it for next time, I think.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, we got
Okay.
a pretty long
Well,
episode right now. So
yeah, if they want to continue the discussion, you guys can do that at Quack Report Pod, Twitter and Instagram. If you have some really nerdy things you want to get into, you can do that with Nate. He's definitely into that stuff, and we'll dive down the rabbit hole with you. And Nate, where can they follow you and DM you Batman theories at?
you can send those to me on Twitter at Tatenomas, Tatenhomas. And I'm just going to say really quickly, I know we've been teasing it for a while, but look for merch next week.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
So the next episode on Sunday, I'll tell you maybe when. We'll see. I don't know. Depends on how I feel.
Yeah. You can follow myself on Twitter at Carter_Potts, POTTS_97. We'll be back to our regular schedule next week. So we'll record Sunday, episode out Monday, live stream on Wednesday. And you can expect that in the future. All right. We'll see you later and have a good one.